welcome to the Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It podcast that is worth listening to. Of course, there are other podcasts out there, not just called Never Seen It, but podcasts in general, but none of them have the people that we have here tonight on the only show that brings you Arnie, the one-man party. Of course, Mr. Arnold Callego.
Hey,
Alex, a.k.a. Filipino Grigio.
Hey, you guys!
Mr. Shibs the Zombie, a.k.a. Justin Holden. And a newest addition to the show, who is, I think, is a great, wonderful, the cousin of the brothers Callego, Mr. Donnie Appleseed. How you doing, Donnie?
How's it going?
I'm missing all the hats behind you, by the way. I think you should bring those back.
I know.
It adds texture. All right, guys. Well, and of course, here I am, Mr. Boots Too Big, because my boots are too big. And what are we talking about tonight, fellas? We're talking about the 1986 movie, The Goonies.
You guys, this map is old news. Everybody and their grandfather went looking for that when our parents were our age. I mean, haven't you ever heard of that guy? What's his name? The pirate guy. One-Eyed Willie.
The Goonies, a group of young misfits called the Goonies, discover an ancient map and set out on an adventure to find a legendary pirate's long-lost treasure. Directed by Richard Donner, who's directed so many other famous movies from that era. He's done Superman. He's done Lethal Weapon. He's done Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. I don't even know what that is, but we'll find out. Lethal Weapon 4, Conspiracy Theory, Maverick, Radio Flyer, the list goes on. And not only is that impressive, but we also have, this movie was written by Chris Columbus, who of course did Home Alone, and Steven Spielberg, and produced by Steven Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, and Frank Marshall. It's a who's who of some of the best directors, producers, and writers from the 80s, 90s, and beyond. Starring Sean Astin. No, Mr. Frodo. No. Josh Brolin. Thanos. Short Round, a.k.a. I think he won an Academy Award, right? Ki Hui Kwan. I don't even know how to say it.
Kiwi Kwan.
Kiwi Kwan.
Yeah. After that was like his only movie, and then he came back and then won
Kiwi Kwan.
award.
And what's a movie from the 80s without one of the Coreys, the best Corey, Mr. Corey Feldman, of course, as Mouth. Now that's the Goonies, and I will say right off the top,
Well,
I'm the only one.
You can't forget Anne Ramsey. Anne Ramsey, Mama Fratelli. Where's the beef, lady?
Where's the beef?
I'm going to say I thought that was a dude for like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, really?
It took me a while. I'm not even joking.
And don't throw Mama from the train.
He tried to kill me.
What?
I said he's trying to kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that's a classic I have seen. I've never seen this one though. Who else hasn't seen this one, by the way? Was it just me? It's just me.
You're
That's
the only
crazy.
one, Adrian. Shame.
And this movie came out 39 years ago. I know that because it came out in 1986, the same year I was born. So we are the
This
same.
is the year that it's isn't it? It's
The
85,
40th
right?
anniversary.
Are we in the year of the
85,
fish? No, it's
Something like
86. I'm looking at it right now on
Are you
IMDb.
sure?
Yep.
Because
It says
it's they're
Goonies,
celebrating it.
You're
40th.
right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
There's some sort of-
It's the 40th anniversary this year.
That's crazy.
There's some. Yeah, I knew there was some sort of anniversary because they're doing a special at Mary Pickford.
Yeah.
That's a wild. This movie came out the same year as Back to the Future. That's crazy.
Hey, by the way, Back to the Future. I have a fun fact for that. Goonies and Back to the Future, the part 1, take place on the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you go,
yeah.
Oh, 1986. Yeah. Okay.
I've heard this
That's
theory.
funny.
Yeah. So if you watch the movie, obviously in Back to the Future, you see the present day. It says 10, whatever the date is, 10/26, 1985. And that's
10/26/85.
the present day of Back to the Future. And then if you go, there's like little details in the Goonies that shows that it actually takes place on the same day. Like there's a calendar behind where Brand is working out, and it says October, and then Mouth says something like,
"Oh, I know.
Oh, this isn't a nuclear Saturday. This is our last Saturday that we're together because like we don't know where we're gonna be next time." And then they also show a newspaper in the movie where like it says the date, It says Thursday, October 24th, 1985. So that takes place a couple days before, and it has like their Fratellis on the cover.
Oh, is it when they're looking
America
at the
was
paper and
great
they see
back
like?
then.
What's that?
That's it. That's all I wanted to say. America was great back then. That's it. I'm not going to say anything else. Look, I don't know. We had Ronald Reagan, we had Back to the Future and Goonies in the theater. I think Gremlins.
Oh yeah,
not
Gremlins.
America was like we should. You know what? I just thought we should make America great again. That's what we should do. Somebody put that on a shirt somewhere. It'll become very popular right now. Hey, by the way, if you're listening or watching this right now and you also haven't seen the Goonies, if you also haven't seen
The Goonies.
The Goonies. I got the Goonies.
You gotta put it in your Goonies.
We'll get into that Italian accent
A
later on.
little
But if you
with the
also,
Goonies.
Dedicated to
where's
Anthony.
Anthony? I don't know where he is. If you also
He's in
haven't
all
seen
of
the
us.
Goonies and you're listening or watching right now, drop us a comment on our social media pages, everybody. We're on TikTok. We're on Insta. We're on Blue Sky, I think. We're on X. We're everywhere. YouTube. Drop us a comment if you also haven't seen the Goonies and let us know what you think. But before we get to that, I want to find out. I mean, should we start with me since I'm the only one that hasn't seen it? Normally, I start with someone else.
Oh, here we go. Adrian,
Yes.
you haven't seen that movie, right?
I haven't. Arnold, thanks for asking.
No, it's my pleasure. So what was your initial thoughts?
I'm glad you asked because I have notes, guys. I'm going to rapid fire my notes really quick. Ready for this? You're going to love this. You're going to love this.
Right before you have 10 seconds.
Not the broken penis, kids cussing. You don't see that anymore. Feldman is the Haley Joel Osment of the 80s. I'm probably wrong about that one. Teenage Josh Brolin appears. Drug references in Spanish by kids. That's something you don't see every day. Kids talking about sexual torture. Same thing. Whipped cream. Everyone shits on mouth, a.k.a. Corey Feldman. 80s music video. You got to have that. The really subdued Josh Brolin. I don't know why I wrote that. The tropes. Oh, yeah. I'm starting to see where Stranger Things and like 8 or Super 8 got a lot of their tropes from. It came straight from the Goonies. Like watching this movie is one of those movies that makes you realize, oh, that's where those tropes came from. Hey, you guys, obviously. Kids suck. Oh, somebody says kids suck, and I put real. Short-haired chick. The short-haired chick reminds me of Barb from Stranger Things. Did anyone else catch that?
Yes.
As soon as I saw her.
Connection is almost uncanny.
R.I.P. Barb. Not short round saying that they can dig all the way to China. Who would ever want to kiss with their eyes open? I wrote that.
My favorite line from that was like when he's like, the booby trap. Yeah, booty trap. That's what I said. Booty trap. That's what I said.
I'm not Liberace. That was a great line. Bumbling bad guys. That seems familiar, considering this was written by the guy that wrote Home Alone. The birth canal water slide. That was cool. Data. I like the name. I like that his name is Data. He's got all the gimmicks. What do you call them? The fucking
techie stuff.
The inventions.
Corey Feldman gets beaten. Right. That was a great moment. The main dark hair Italian guy, he was in Die Hard. He was like the guy that is at the security desk and then shoots the guy as he comes in. I was like, he looks so familiar. I know I've seen him in something else. I'm almost done. Sloth saves the day. Cool shirt, by the way. Who's got the beanie or the fucking Alex? I think that was you, right? You have the fucking. There you go. Sloth saves the day. I get the reference now because Donner directed Superman. Domino's product placement at the very end. Dada's mom. Dada's mom is a baddie. I wrote. Of course, the Mexican maid lady saves the day. Pirate ship, and then of course One-Eyed Willie. I'll show you my One-Eyed Willie, right, Arnold? So that's what I have for notes.
Why me?
Wait, anyway, do we want to break any of those down? I mean, there seems like to be a lot of famous moments from this movie.
Well, I think one thing I do want to know is like, why did it take you so long to watch it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You told me that
I
you
heard you didn't
refused to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told all of us.
No,
that
I
you
said I
refused.
refused to watch the original Top Gun, right? Or was it Goonies? I feel like it was Top
You
Gun.
said I think to me you said Goonies, which is why I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get you to watch it."
I think I was
Yeah.
going through one of my phases where like it's too popular and cool, so I won't watch it. But I'm like, yeah, get over yourself. I don't know. Maybe that's probably why I said that. To be honest,
Did you like it though? Like,
yeah, no. Here's the thing. I enjoyed it. I feel like if I had watched it when I was a kid, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Because it's like one of those movies I think that like would have stuck with me as I'd gotten older, but because I watched it as an adult, it doesn't hit the same. And it's interesting. I feel like I would have missed a lot of stuff like that I caught as an adult if I had, so
yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's that whole like rose-colored lenses type thing too. Like if you were to watch it when you were younger, you would like probably have much fonder memories of like the film and what was going on in your life at the time. And for me, like I didn't watch it until like I was a teenager. Like I was working at Video Depot, and that's when I finally watched it. But I do have like fond memories of watching it back then because I was working for Video Depot, and there was a girl that I liked that like worked there, and
Yeah, and I feel like I was watching a lot of fucked up shit at that time. I was watching like the Child's Play movies when I was a kid. The Never Ending Story, like that movie fucked me up.
Oh yeah.
I was watching Gremlins. I don't know how I didn't end up watching. You think I would have watched it because I was watching all those other movies from that era. But
I thought you were gonna say like even worse shit. Remember Alex and Video Depot when they were oh gosh, it was like I don't know why they had it on video that you can rent, but it was like people who are getting like massacred or
Faces
like,
of Death. It was like there was two different series. There was Faces of Death and Traces of Death. There like Traces of Death was like it was like the rip-off version. It had some of the same stuff. I don't know the huge difference between the two. Just like somebody else wanted to make money off of that whole thing.
I like that someone made a rip-off version of Faces of Death.
Yeah.
Like next you're gonna tell me there's a rip-off version of the Human Centipede movies or something.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Or a Serbian
but I now that I think about it, wasn't Faces of Death wasn't it banned?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I can imagine
Faces of Death for a period of time. And so I would imagine that this is Traces of Death. This isn't Faces of Death. So it might even be the same company that like made it, just edited out certain things and changed the name, and so I don't know.
Yeah,
it could be.
And not to go on too much of a tangent about this, but does anybody remember Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's the kind of shit I was watching as a kid.
Oh, Arnold, we got to watch that then. That's some
respectable.
Sounds kind of scary.
Well, no, it's campy scary, right? Justin, you've seen it.
Yeah, it's a camp fest.
It's super campy.
It's bad. Like it's so good it's bad type of deal.
Yeah.
Which means Arnold will be scared.
Yeah.
It's as scary as Lawnmower Man, I would say.
Pooh,
from what I
Pooh
remember.
Bear, where are you, Pooh Bear?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Anyways,
to take us off track. So Adrian.
Yes.
Were there any other favorite moments?
I want to say I the first thing I noticed about Sloth was that he was wearing the Superman shirt and the gray pants, and I think he was wearing Chuck Taylors, and I was like, this guy knows how to dress, considering he's like locked up in a basement and like watching TV or whatever in an old like basement dungeon thing. He's like knows how to dress, like he's like a total nerd boy. So I thought that was cool.
Did you notice he was wearing a Raider shirt? In the very
what?
No, I don't know.
Is it the one that he ripped off?
Where he's locked up, that he's wearing, the first time you see him, he's wearing a Raiders shirt. But he actually played for the Raiders, and he won 2 Super Bowls for the Raiders. So
That's
Raiders,
crazy.
they did that. Yeah.
But he's the Hills Have Eyes guy, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. I forget the actor's name.
Oh,
John Matusak or something. Matusak or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a football player. Yeah, but
he's literally on the cover of the original.
John Matusak.
Yeah. Matusak. Yeah.
And for the record, he
like,
doesn't really look like that.
No.
I wonder if he played.
That was 5 hours of makeup for the Goonies. I heard.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can imagine
But he's
him,
tall. He's like
playing,
6'8". He's a pretty tall dude.
maybe a linebacker. You know,
You know,
Matsu
speaking of
sack
the-
with another sack.
Speaking of like the makeup effects, like the scene where like Sloth is like wiggling his ears, that's actually a pretty good like mechanical prosthetic that they put on there. I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing that they got his face to do.
I think it's an interesting choice to make his ears move because, like, he's supposed to be
Yeah.
human, right? Like,
Right,
why
yeah.
is it?
His
Why
ears
is
are-
his ears moving? Is it? I don't know. Is he alien?
He's happy.
He's just deformed, I thought.
I get it,
Yeah,
but like, what? He's not human. He can't be human.
They talked about it in the end, right? It's because his mom dropped him on his head a couple times.
So,
Yeah.
like,
I forgot. There's an actual term for that,
Yeah.
but it's an actual deformation. That
His
happens.
eye ended up down here. Like,
It's
I
exaggerated,
can
obviously.
I can actually relate to Sloth in a little bit of ways. 'Cause, just
They
to
jumped
go
in
off
your head?
I thought you were gonna say
kind of. So like when I was a baby, my mom liked to like throw me up into the air, right?
Oh shit!
She liked to throw me up into the air. So like one day she threw me a bit too high, and I went straight into the ceiling fan.
Oh shit!
It was
my
going like
gosh.
full. Yeah, it was great.
Dang.
Break!
And-
Fall.
There's a really fucked up condition that some babies are born with, though, where they look super deformed. I always come across those videos on reels for some reason, but sometimes you'll see them on TikTok where it's like people who are like really deformed. Have you guys ever come across that, or am I the only
Yeah,
one?
I have.
My algorithm, is all
I've
kinds of
never-
fucked
Your
up.
algorithm's fucked up.
All kinds of fucked up.
All right. Yes,
John
I know
Matuszak-
what you're talking about, and I've seen
Ah.
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
so John
I thought that's
Matuszak
what
is-
Sloth had, maybe. Or maybe you're saying he was a football
Sloth on
player, so maybe
TikTok.
he had the same thing OJ had. What's it called? CPP.
Well, he died. In
He did
1989.
He died in '89,
talking about-
like a few years after
Yeah.
the movie came out.
And I was right.
Yeah.
He was on the defensive end.
Oh,
Right.
was he?
Yeah.
He died from an overdose, I believe. If
Oh, shit.
dang.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Just go.
Well, I mean,
Peace.
Too many baby Ruths, you know.
hey, but at least he's immortalized in this movie because I feel like
Yeah,
this
Yeah.
movie's up there with Back to the Future, Gremlins, fucking all those
yeah.
other '80s,
Home
that, like,
Alone.
Home Alone, and
Rocky.
all the John Hughes movies from that era, like fucking Breakfast Club and
Captain
Definitely like a
Planet.
cult classic
It's
for sure.
Yeah.
what's cool about it too is
Stand by
like
Me.
it's like the kids version of Indiana Jones.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and short rounds
Yeah.
in it. so
Literally, I mean,
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
it is- well,
Oh,
I think that's what
you know
happened. I think somebody was like, "We need a kids version of Indiana Jones," and Spielberg was like, "Bet, let's make it." You know,
After I finished watching it, Indiana Jones came on like as the very next movie.
Oh, really?
Did that come around the same time? Because Harrison Ford, I read, actually visited the set of the Goonies and actually played around in the caves.
Yeah.
So I wonder if
Yeah.
it's like around the same time.
I
Yeah.
think because Short Round was in Indiana Jones.
He was
So
in the
he-
second one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that came out before because he looks younger in that. movie.
Okay. Yeah.
In Temple of
Yeah.
Doom, you mean, right?
Yeah, in Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
He looks younger.
older in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
I
a
was,
year or two older.
I was thinking not to be that guy, but I was thinking they wouldn't make a movie like this these days. I feel like it's a little too edgy for like today's audiences, like with kids cussing.
I think
talking.
I
about
think the
sexual
tone wouldn't be
torture.
the same. I think
Yeah.
the tone wouldn't be the same, but from what I hear, I haven't watched it yet. I think you've watched it, Adrian. The new Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
I haven't actually. I've been avoiding
Who-
watching.
have
it.
any of you guys watched it?
so
seen that yet either.
I know I haven't seen much of it, but I know a few facts about it just by watching a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've just
what?
heard that it's kind of like the like a Star Wars version of the Goonies.
That's what I've heard too.
Right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
We'll have to
And
watch
it
it.
also has a weird correlation with Captain EO,
Who's that?
Michael Jackson.
Really?
Anyway, we're not going to get into too
Not
much
gonna
of a
get into
tangent of it, but there is a correlation between Skeleton Crew and Captain EO.
We'll have a research department look into it. But now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, Donnie, you said you were really excited to talk about the Goonies tonight. Tell me, what does this movie mean to you?
Well, it was just very nostalgic, right? Because I watched it a long time ago when I was younger, and then I bought it. I had it on Blu-ray, so I didn't even know I bought it, but I I bought it a few months ago so I could show my son when he was old enough, and he's probably old enough now. We're getting there. So I haven't rewatched it. So this was the first time that I rewatched it, and it was just a huge like a lot of nostalgic stuff, that was going on, and so. I liked it for that reason. That's why I was really curious to see if you would like it since you've never watched it and you watched it as an adult. So
I did like it.
Experiences.
It makes me wish I had seen it as a kid because I feel like I would have loved it as a kid.
It's funny how
I remember liking it, but I still enjoyed it as an adult. But in a different way because of all the nostalgia.
For sure.
Donald, that happened with me. I had no idea that we bought the movie as well.
And I almost rented it, and I was like, "Wait, let me see if I have this shit."
I still rented it though because
you still rented it.
the was like we have it on Blu-ray. We have a Blu-ray player, but for whatever reason, it wasn't playing that DVD, and I was just like, "Screw it! I'm just gonna." It was $4, so I rented it on Amazon. Yeah.
Does anybody have DVD and Blu-ray players still? I feel like a lot of people are phasing those out of their home.
I'm in the hunt for one.
I mean, if you have like a PlayStation or Xbox, but even then they're trying to phase that out of. They're trying to make everything digital, so you'll never own your movies again.
That kind of annoys me because I like to own physical media. I have a whole fucking case this thick, full of DVD. No, sorry. Was that all? Was there anything else, Donnie, you wanted to share about Goonies?
No, I mean, I think I first got like my first moment of excitement for nostalgia wise was like when what was that character's name? Mouth. He came out in a members only jacket. I was like, oh, I used to have one of those.
I still have one.
You still have one? Yep. I wish I still had mine, but I had a red one. It was pretty dope, but it was exactly.
I have a black one like Michael Knight and Knight Rider.
Yeah, nice.
Some Gen Z kids watching this right now, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna start wearing," and then it becomes like the next
trend. Bring it back. But I dress more like Chunk now, with the Hawaiian shirts and stuff. That's like my season.
Hell yeah. Justin, what about you? What does Goonies mean to you? Because I feel like this is one of your all-time favorite movies, right?
It's one of my favorite action adventure movies. There's a little bit of mystery. It just kind of whenever I put the Goonies on, even though now it kind of just acts as like a background thing that I'll watch on occasion, it always brings a smile to my face when I boot it up and I start hearing like Cyndi Lauper and all that good stuff. And I love Cyndi Lauper. I don't care what anybody says. I think she is amazing artist, but
she's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. Shout out Cyndi Lauper, still doing tours, by the way. But
nice.
It's her last tour. This is her last tour.
Oh yeah, it is her last tour.
I wanted to go. They played out in Acrisure, Arnold. Why didn't you give me tickets?
Yeah. Why didn't you give me tickets? What the fuck? Anyway,
what's going on?
Stop bullying me! Stop.
She hated that song that she made for the Goonies. She's trying to get exit.
Good enough.
Really?
Yeah, good enough. Yeah.
For you, it's good enough. For me, it's good enough. Anyway, Josh Brolin, Thanos,
that's crazy.
I think it's crazy to see where they've been and where they are, because I don't remember Josh Brolin being in anything else prior to this movie, to be honest, and for him to be kind of a sort of a background character, he's a main part of the Goonies, but he kind of like sits back from all the other kids as well. It's their movie more so than it is his, but it's just and then Sean Astin, seeing him so young, and then I watched like the Lord of the Rings recently. I just binged that, and just seeing how just the different like steps in acting they all have in the future. I'm not so much Corey Feldman. I think he kind of Hollywood fucked him up and spit him out, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? At least he's doing good. Touring with his band or whatever it
It's
is.
music. Yeah.
Yeah, and then was it Chunk? He's all fit and thin, and I don't know what he does, but he does. I think he does like producing or something. He
Yeah.
does something. I forget what else he does.
He has his
Um,
hands in a lot of shit. Like he's a part
yeah,
of a lot of movies. Yeah.
yeah. And then Data or Kiwi, he's obviously everything everywhere all at once, and it's interesting to see some of these characters. You kind of move on and see them in other projects later on in their life, and some of them have left completely, some of them have like hopped back in after leaving for like a long period of time, and it's just kind of interesting that you can kind of still see like this history. Like it was a little bit of a, I don't know, I'd say like back in the day it wasn't easy to kind of like follow someone's career, but I feel like nowadays you can kind of follow anyone's career as far back as however you want to go, and then just kind of live their life vicariously through the films that they act in, which is kind of nice. But I always recommend the Goonies. I worked with like a lot of younger people, and I'm always like telling them movies that they should go see. I'm like, you should go see like My Cousin Vinny or,
Yeah.
the Goonies, and a lot of them haven't seen a lot of the movies that we all grew up with, and they're force fed all these action things and with high tech CGI or just billion-dollar budgets and things like that. I'm like, like older movies are definitely a fine wine type of thing, and every time that I recommend something like that, they're like, oh, you know what, that was a really good movie, and then they get interested in like the directors and other actors. So I feel like the Goonies was like one of the first movies for me where I was able to kind of like I enjoyed all these characters. They were all like mapped out very well. And later on in life, as far as like the actors go, I'm able to kind of follow their careers relatively easily, and I've enjoyed every single one of them whenever they are on screen. Um, even now that one of them's not necessarily, two of them are not necessarily on screen anymore, but they still have a presence in some shape or form. But The Goonies is a classic, and I say that the nostalgia factor does come into play for sure. But I think if you were able to just kind of if you're able to just kind of, in my opinion, I feel like the way that you should have watched it, Adrian, was going into it like this is a this is an adventure movie about these kids who are just trying to help their parents out, um, and they go on one last big adventure together. Much like all of us in our lives, we all have that final adventure that we go on with our friends, whether we don't see them for a very long time or we'll see them eventually. Whatever the case, wherever life takes us, this is kind of like that last summer that you have in school with your friends, and I think that's what really sells this movie for me, is I can relate to it. Yeah, their parents are rich. They have this really nice house near the bay in the mountains of Astoria. I can't relate to the rich part, but I can relate a lot to the friendship, because there's a lot of friendships I've had in the past that I probably will never see or talk to those people ever again, even though we were so closely clicked. And I kind of wish I had a moment like this where we were able to just go out with a bang one final summer, before, we parted ways, and that's what the Goonies means to me.
Very well said, Justin. Thank you for that. It reminds me of this one meme I've seen where it goes something like, you think back to when you spent time with your friends, and you don't know when the last time is that you'll do that. Like, like the last time that you played N64 on a Friday night with pizza and Mountain Dew. Like, you never remember like when the last, you never know in the moment when the last time is that's going to happen, right? So,
Right.
appreciate the time you do have with the people that you have in your life, and yeah, that's why I feel like almost nostalgic for a time I didn't get to experience, which was not watching this movie as a kid, but hearing that perspective from someone like you who watched it young, that's great. That's good to know. It's good to know what I missed out on. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, very well said. Very well said. Alex, yeah. What about you? What I know this is I don't know actually. Is this a part of your? Is this like up there in the Mount Rushmore of your favorite movies, or is this just kind of where does it rank?
Of like all these kinds of like youth oriented type movies, I think it's one of my top favorites.
Okay.
I think if it is like probably the top favorite as far as like this kind of genre is concerned, of where like kids going off and having an adventure. Like the only things I can think of is like Stand By Me,
Yeah.
which is like a lot darker.
Which I have seen. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
great
Corey
movies,
Feldman
but
was
that's a
in
good
that
movie,
too,
too.
right? I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Sean Astin as well, I thought. Or no.
Believe-
No, not Sean Astin.
Sean Astin was in
No,
some
it
other
was-
movie from
Is
there.
it-
Was it Corey
Phoenix?
Haim?
Is that the one?
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, yes.
River
That's who
Phoenix
I'm
is in
thinking
it,
about.
Yeah. It was a bunch of really young actors who were like eventually became like bigger names.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
even Corey Feldman, like as he got older, eventually became this teen heartthrob.
Right.
But like, the '80s got them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but yeah, as far as like this kind of is concerned, I really enjoyed like reliving this film just because it's like you, Justin. I do put it on occasionally, like, so it ends up being on the background. But at the same time, when I do a deep dive and like actually have this opportunity to watch the film, like for the show, I actually end up delving in deeper and seeing like little details that like Richard Donner is a genius in like a lot of smaller details. Like there's a scene where Mikey is asking to use the bathroom, right? They're in the hideout,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then Chunk is like,
Yeah.
he's like, you don't want to use the bathroom here. There's like spiders. And then he turns around. I didn't notice it at the time, but then when I watched it, I was like, she's like, or dead people. He says, but in the background, you see like one of the Fratellis carrying one of the dead bodies, a silhouette.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice that. It was like
Oh.
certain things, like it was kind of like it reminded me of like Ghost World, where like just like the minutia going on in the background, right? Like like in Ghost World, there was that girl who's pregnant smoking a cigarette, And it was like little things like that, like the little details, and that's what makes the world building for something like this. It's as flawed as it is, kind of. It's still really cool, Like I really love the little details. Like, and one of the other things I really enjoyed about it was like the sets.
Yeah.
The
Sets are
practical
amazing.
sets. And one of the sets when they were going underground, it reminded me of like Arnold and I went to the Portland Underground, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they call it the Shanghai
Shanghai-
tunnels.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like in Portland, there was these like tunnels where like people who like worked on ships, they would like kidnap people, and what they would do is like they would get like they would partner with like these bars or whatever restaurants, and they would find like they would have a victim, right, or like they'd have a target who would be sitting at the bar, and he'd be like really drunk, and they would like the bartender would be like ring a bell, and they would notify like the guys who were downstairs in the tunnel that like they got a target, and they would pull like a drop door, and right underneath like the guy would fall, and like they'd kidnap him and sell him for blood money, and like the farthest port was Shanghai, China, and that's why they call like the whole term comes like I've been shanghaied, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, those tunnels, like just especially the scene where like you saw like the pipes and everything like that. It reminded me of us when we were down in the Portland Underground. Yeah, he's all moving the pipes.
Yeah,
It's funny that
shaking the
you-
pipes.
It's funny that
Arnold
you
was shaking the
mentioned-
pipes like this.
It's funny that you mentioned Portland because Astoria is in Oregon.
Oh, is it? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Astoria is in Oregon.
Huh.
It's in
Oh, I know.
Astoria,
Is
Oregon.
it Oregon or is it in Washington? Is
No,
it?
it's Oregon.
It's
Is it?
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I always get those. I mean, it's the Pacific Northwest, so I always get those two
Right.
mixed up.
Yeah.
But I did find
Well,
out.
it makes
recently-
sense why that feeling was there.
Yeah, it makes sense though that like, so in Astoria, it was actually originally supposed to be the big major city on the West Coast, like
Oh, really?
before Seattle, before Portland, before San Francisco. It was meant to be like the major port city. But
Yeah.
there's like a what do you call it? A river that's like super dangerous, where like the sands underneath it shifts so much that like ships that would go in there would crash and sink. It's like I guess I mean it kind of makes sense if you think about the history of like actual Astoria and why there's like pirate ships. Like why they would base the Goonies in Astoria. It makes so much sense now. Like if you think about it, like
Yeah.
how it was originally supposed to be the main port of the West Coast.
Do you think there were kids around then, like after that movie came out, that they actually went and started looking for pirate ship in there? I probably would have. I
I probably would have to. To be
I
honest.
probably would have been the last.
I probably would have been on my way, like what's the Josh Brolin, but then right off the
On your
On
bike
the-
with the
on the pink
training wheels.
Tranquilos.
with a little sweater tied around my shoulders.
Dude, I love like the forests and everything. Like that's the type of thing that as a
Yeah.
kid I would have loved to have explored.
And
Yeah, for sure. Same.
that it'll be
Yeah.
so fun to play ninjas in there.
Oh, dude, ninjas were amazing. Hiding in all the trees and stuff like that, throwing ninja stars at each other.
Alex, you're talking about Astoria was meant to be like the big city. See, Daddy Trump is talking about making Canada part of the U.S. No, you know what he should do is create the state of Jefferson and make Astoria the capital city of it. There you go. Now we have Astoria in the great state of Jefferson. You know, that's what he should. He's wasting time trying to take over Canada and the Panama Canal. No, make the state of Jefferson, Daddy Trump. Do it. That's why.
Where would the state of Jefferson be? Where is
You
it?
would just cut off part of Northern California and southern part of Oregon and just make that the state of Jefferson.
Ah.
So you got to take away land from California and Oregon and make this fictional state. Yeah.
Is he wanting the
Does it
part of
make
the
sense
Emerald
now, Arnold?
Triangle? What's that?
Does it make sense now, Arnold?
No. Well, I don't like it because he's essentially taking away a part of the Emerald Triangle. Is that what he wants?
I'm saying he should do that instead of trying to make Canada part of the U.S. Right?
Arnold's getting
which is
pissed. Look at his
he
face.
should
He's doing
make-
that.
the state of Jefferson, and if he wants to, just for his own ego, make his own little state. We'll call it Trumplandia or something. I don't know.
Would that include Gilroy as well?
What's that?
Gilroy.
Would that include Gilroy as well? The
Don't
land
take away
where
Arnold's garlic.
You
I
can,
don't
you
know
can
what
hang a piece.
Gilroy is.
Oh, you can hang a piece of meat outside, and then it'll just marinate in the air and smell like garlic. It'll permeate.
It's the capital of garlic, where garlic grows.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
If you ever go there, put your meat out there, and then just let it hang.
Yeah,
And then-
Arnold always puts his meat out there.
Yeah.
No matter what, he lets it marinate all the time.
Arnold
I
wants to
haven't-
show us. Arnold wants to show us his one-eyed Willie, right, Arnold?
Boy, not really.
This guy gets it.
But-
I like this
No,
kid.
No, anyway, but that's good though. Arnold, what does Goonies mean to you? I feel like we haven't gone to you yet.
Oh, So I had seen the movie about 20 years ago, or more, because Alex, the first time I seen it was it one of those nights where we would rent like 5 movies, and then it was like a Friday night and we spend the night at Tony's, and then we
Probably.
just watch movies. I think that was one of
Probably.
those
We, went- we,
nights.
we, we rented a lot of like movies, so it could have been one of them. I
So
know
I must
renting
have.
like the
It's
Holy
probably when
Grail.
Alex was working at the video store.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I was probably like 10 or 11 years old
Yeah.
when I watched it, and I don't know. I mean, I remember loving the movie, but did I remember the story? No. What did I remember? I remembered Data. I didn't even remember his name, but his name is Data, with all the gadgets, and I just thought that was so cool, like Inspector Gadget or something. And because I was a fan of like MacGyver, and I loved how MacGyver would make all his stuff out of nothing. But Data, I mean, that wasn't really out of nothing. He had all the like the punching bag hand that was
Yeah.
just right there, and the lights. I thought that was pretty cool. And just all the little gadgets. I thought that really stuck out to me, which had nothing to do with the whole story. That was like one thing I saw, and I was just fixed on that. I was like, yeah, that's cool, and he's on an adventure. That's the kind of guy that you need on your team.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say that the gadgets he had didn't help the story at all. I feel like some of the gadgets either deterred them or let them move forward, depending on the situation his gadgets were being used.
I tell you
His gadgets also inspired a band name, Slick Shoes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a
I didn't
punk
know that
punk
either.
band from the '90s called Slick Shoes.
from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
I
Slick
got them
shoes.
It's
slick
crazy
shoes.
how influential that movie was, right? And for many
Yeah.
different reasons for different people. So it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which
Arnold,
surprises me because like I don't- when we've gone to Arnold and I we've gone to comic conventions for like half our lives, and you never see anybody like cosplay as the Goonies, or they don't really talk about the Goonies. But you'd think that like at comic conventions the actors, even before they got bigger names, they'd be going to like conventions doing signings all the time. You'd think that, right? They're such part of like the zeitgeist of like childhood and pop culture, and it feels like such an important film, at least for me, in my perspective, that like why doesn't Goonies get more love? You know?
Yeah, wait a minute. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we've got Data. We've got Mouth. What are the other names? There's the
Chunk.
main guy.
Chunk.
Adrian's
Chunk.
mouth.
Chunk.
If that's where we're
Oh.
going, Adrian's mouth.
I'll be Mal. Yeah.
Who's gonna fight for Mouth? I want Mouth. I want to be Mouth.
Arnold loves Mouth.
He's a stylish dude.
Take me to
right?
Goontown, baby.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Arnold is Josh Brolin.
So-
What's his character's name?
I don't know.
Brandon.
Brandon. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
which I was looking up, and I was like,
And then there's
oh,
Mikey.
damn.
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey. Oh yeah, Mikey.
Who
Oh,
would
yeah.
be Mikey then? Who would be Mikey?
I could do a good lisp.
Yeah. You want to be Sean Astin? Arnold,
I bet
were,
you
were
could.
you trying to say earlier about Data's gadgets that it wasn't? It came in handy in the story, but you didn't know how it pertained to anything else relating to the story. Like he just happened to have all
Yeah.
those gadgets with him.
I just thought it
on
was
him.
so cool, and then I just didn't even really pay attention to the story. But I knew like, oh, what a cool adventure that they're on. I remember like it being like an adventurous kind of movie, like, kind of like Journey to the Center of the Ass.
Center of the ass?
Excuse
Did
me.
you say center of the
Journey
ass?
to the Center
Beg
of
your
the
pardon?
Settle down.
I said to the
Journey
earth.
to the
I said
center of the
earth.
ass?
That's what I heard.
I heard
Some
that
sort
too,
of booty
sorry.
trap for me.
You mean booby trap?
That's what I said. Oh gosh.
Well, I know,
When
I
that was happening, I was like, dude, that I did not know that actually happened, but like I like subconsciously do that now. but like jokingly, like you know how I do here,
Right.
which I just thought was hilarious. And Carla and I were watching that, and
Yeah, joking.
Yeah, you've never told a single joke on this show. You've always just said what you say.
I'm usually always all about business, you know.
Oh,
Chunk. There was one part. Now I'm just talking about like stuff that kind of like relate now. At the beginning when they're like, "Hey, Chunk, do the truffle shuffle," and they like they like make him do something so that way they can laugh because you know it's like entertainment. Kind of reminds me like back like in my partying days. You know,
Like
you
2
remember
weeks
the dance,
ago?
Alex? The shovel.
Oh yeah, the shovel.
Then
That's one of my favorite moves that you do, Arnold. That's probably the best dance move you do.
Again,
You gotta shoot a video of that and like post it to our Instagram now.
Give us an example right now.
Can you do it?
Can you do it?
You have space?
For our listeners, this is the visual portion of our podcast.
Yeah, for the YouTube, you guys got to watch. You can only catch us on
YouTubes.
YouTube, or if you follow us on our videos that we post. Okay, I'm gonna put my headphones down right quick.
all right. Let's
So
see.
I'm gonna kind of describe it for you guys. It's almost like a crip walk mixed with
sorry.
like just
Excuse
the
mess
motions
here.
of like
Excuse the mess.
shoveling.
Shoveling.
He's got to really prepare for this.
So you know you get the shovel,
Okay,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right? And then
Is that a crip walk?
It's got a slight
walking
crip
with a
walk
shovel.
nature to
It
it.
does.
I had to get you got to get the feet. You got to get the feet going.
Yeah, you have to see
Yeah,
the feet
yeah.
to see the crip walk influence.
It's not as sexual as the roller coaster. I will say that. So thank you.
Have you tried combining the roller coaster and the shovel?
Oh my god! Yes.
Oh no! The roller coaster transitioning into the shovel.
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
that.
He wouldn't be able to do it because his arms would be trapped in the roller coaster.
He definitely had.
You know what's
busy
funny too?
hands.
You know what's funny? We were during Christmas. We were visiting with our friend Donald and Christina, and Donald was actually able to help Arnold like give us a visual display of the roller coaster, which is hilarious. It was
I
like
did not think that because like because I'm like 150 pounds, and so like he did that. And then I was like, "Oh, dude, yeah, I'm kind of heavy, 150 pounds. I'm 150 pounds."
Okay.
that, Arnold. Keep telling yourself that.
I am.
It's on his driver's
yeah.
license. Okay. Well, go on, Arnold. Go on. Tell your story.
Oh yeah, so he got to like demonstrate for
Okay.
Alex and my friend Christina, and like he did it like he knew what was up. He was a fan. He was a fan of the movie. He grew up in those times. Donald knows him as well. And
Yeah.
his name is Donald.
Oh, Christina,
You guys know a lot of
Justin
Donald
knows him,
from
too.
the Appleseed, Donald and Christina, Donald Trump, best friends of Arnold, obviously. Arnold, you should actually take that on tour, the roller coaster and the shovel. You know what I'm saying?
Jump on the
Take it on
roller
tour.
coaster.
Yeah,
We're gonna pave the way with the shovel.
yeah.
We're
Literally
gonna
paved the way. I like it.
There was
all right.
one other thought that I had
Tell us.
about the movie Goonies. I
Let's
was
hear
like, you know how you were just talking about like the awesome sets and everything, and just like they're going underground, and then there's the water, and there's like their hideout place that they went to, the woodsy area. That would be a really, really cool, like if that was like a ride, like at an amusement park or something.
Yeah.
Like, I think of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Or
takes you through all
Indiana
these-
Jones.
Yeah,
E.T.
yeah.
the Ride. Remember E.T. the Ride at Universal? That was fun.
Rest in peace.
Shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
I went to Universal Studios. Well, just recently, last week, but before that, last year, and I asked for the ET ride because I hadn't been in so long, and the person
Oh
just like
wow!
laughed at me. They're like,
He left
"That's
it.
been gone." I was like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
They
not
still
here
have it in
anymore?
Florida.
What you guys are doing?"
They s-
They have
Do
it
they
in
really?
Florida. Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta go to Florida. That shit.
Yeah, but then you gotta go to Florida.
I remember on the ET ride. So like, we have a mutual friend, Donald Arnold, and I. We have a mutual friend named Narcy, right? Narcy, and I don't know if you've ever been on the ET ride, but at the very beginning of the ride, you give them your name, and she gave her name, right, Narcy. And at the end, we got to it, and the computer had like a brain fart when they were trying to say her name. She's all Nart Nart Narky.
Narky. Narky.
Narcan. Who needs a Narcan?
I thought she OD'd, yeah. All right. Well, Arnold, any final thoughts before we move into the final part of the show?
Yeah. One of course, how can we not talk about the one of the funniest parts? When they get all the jewels and then Mouth has all the stuff in his mouth and then like he's like hiding it and then he pulls out like the pearls and
got beaten.
The beads just keep coming out and it made me laugh.
It made me laugh too.
What did it make you think of? What did it make you think of? You're about to say it.
You have a set of those, Arnold? Some A-beads?
No, because then he even had more like jewels in his mouth afterwards. I thought that was funny. What about you guys?
It made me think of you, Arnold. That's what it made me think of.
Oh,
all right. Well, I think we've done it, right? I feel like we've all given our thoughts. Unless anybody has any actual final thoughts, why don't we move into the social media portion of our show?
I actually wanted to bring up one thing.
Oh,
so Steph, the character Steph, right? At the very beginning of it's always puzzled me. I don't understand this. It makes really no sense. Why is she dunking her head in water? As you know, at the very beginning of the movie, right? There's a car chase, and then she's at the pier, and then they're introducing all the characters, and she's this randomly. She dunks her head in water and she like flips her hair up and she's like, I don't understand that. Is she like some sea urchin? Is she like the daughter of a sailor? Like, and is she homeless?
Too.
She seems kind of like a Goonie, but she's hanging out with Andy, who's kind of a popular kid, I guess. That whole part does not really make sense to me. I don't know. Have you guys thought about this? Like,
popular girls always have a lesser attractive girl as one of their friends. It's like part of the politics of being the popular girl in school, right?
Like is that just in the 80s or in real life?
Yeah, exactly. 80s movie logic. How do you keep yourself at that high level of popularity? You gotta have a girl that's only slightly less conventionally attractive than you. Not to say that Steph isn't, because Steph is cute, but
yeah.
And in the movie, in the world of the 80s Hollywood, she's like quote unquote ugly.
Yeah, I mean, Donald and I think we've had conversations of like the odd cute,
Yeah.
I'm into like the odd cute.
Yeah,
I like that.
Shaw. Kristen Shaw, I think is really cute, even though she's weird looking. But
one thing I also wanted to show, because Arnold was talking about Data. And I don't. I just thought it was funny. I thought I can't find the actual picture, but I sent this to like our friend Kyle Mabson when he was doing that. Like, why do good girls love bad boys? So like.
Girls like bad guys. Had this question for a real long time. I'm a bad boy, and it's plain to see. So why do good girls fall in love with me?
Man, that's hilarious.
I was just gonna pull up that photo.
It just reminded me of like Data.
Yeah.
Arnold's like cosplaying Data right there.
When I would dress up like that, that was the thought. You know, you have like
Oh,
all
really?
this gear. Yeah. Well, that along with
Heavy duty.
Heavy duty, Super Force. Wasn't that a TV show, Super Force?
I don't know. I just remember you were into that
Yeah.
heavy duty character from G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
They had like the
Someone should,
bazookas on the side of shit.
Take clips from Star Trek: The Next Generation and replace Brent Spiner with Data from the Goonies. Because
They'd probably get farther. You
Did you guys? Did you guys catch
Star Trek would be way more successful, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys catch at the end when Data was talking about the octopus? Did you guys catch that?
Oh yeah,
yeah. But I don't remember him seeing an octopus.
Well, they got rid of that scene, but it used to have a scene where there was like an octopus and they were fighting the octopus right when they were getting to the ship, but they got rid of it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
that
was 240.
That reminds me of my friend Chris Devlin. He you know, Amanda Donald, you know, Wesley's wife.
Oh,
Chris
Amanda
Devlin.
Russell. Yeah.
So he was joking with me at Video Depot. He was like talking about the whole octopus scene. He's like, yeah, it's on the same director's cut version where you see full frontal nudity of Chunk.
Oh, shit.
I always think of that joke. I was like, every time somebody brings up the octopus from Goonies.
Octopus. That's funny.
What was there really full frontal nudity back then?
Yeah, it's in the director's cut.
What, of a kid? Crazy! What the hey, dude? Chunk don't give up.
All right, guys. I just want to say, really, my one favorite moment in Goonies was when they're on the ship and the mom slaps. I think it's Joe Pantoliano's hand with the sword. She just goes whap.
Yeah.
He said, that was like my favorite moment because he says something. She's like, just slaps his hand with the fucking sword. That was great. That whole sequence was actually really great. I think that's like a great way to cap off the movie with the ship. The ship set was really awesome.
Yeah, that was dope. That was where I would picture, like, if it was a ride, and then you, well, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's the climax.
I think the Goonies would be better.
Yeah, that'd be the climax, right, Arnold?
Yeah,
that was a real boat, by the way, that they shot.
Oh, was it?
What?
They didn't build that as a set.
Yeah. No, when the boat that was floating, like on the actual sea, that was the real boat, but the boat inside the cave was the set. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
But the entire cave was a built set.
Yeah, it was
like water, everything. Yeah.
The
nowadays they would have built like a quarter of the boat, and everything else would be fucking green screen. You know.
Yeah.
Back then,
they try to sell the boat. Actually, nobody wanted to buy it, so they told them.
You can actually that studio is still being used to this day at the Universal Studios.
What?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. They talk about it when you go on the studio tour. They're like, oh, this is where the Goonies was filmed, and at the time it was like one of the world's biggest like studios. Yeah,
it's like 30,000 square feet. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a real craftsmanship in movies back then.
Didn't Adam the Woo do a set visit in that story?
There's a reference I hadn't heard in a while. Adam the Woo.
This is like the second episode
dedicated to hating that guy, Alex. You should check it out sometime. There's a subreddit dedicated to hating.
And
shitting on.
I've seen
Adam
they have videos shitting on.
I don't know why they hate him so much. He's just like passionate about movie studio.
I don't get it. Like I get he's a little bit cringe because I know personally I like cringe at some of the stuff he does. But yeah, like I agree with you. He's like he's doing what he loves.
Yeah,
like don't yuck his yum.
Exactly. Exactly. But hey, I think unless anyone has any final thoughts, we should go around the room and give our socials. Alex, I'll start with you.
So I give this film 3.5. It's one of my top favorite, like I said, of this genre.
A strong 3.5, right?
Very strong 3.5. I mean, I give it a 3.5 because it does have its flaws, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But overall, it's got that sort of like Justin mentioned, that youth final adventure type of thing. And I think that's one of those things that I appreciate about it because I remember having all those adventures with my friends, you know. I remember like going off. I was very like much of a lone wolf, but the times that I would go hang out with my buddies and we just do stupid stuff like as kids, those things, those times meant so much to me, you know. And I think that's why I could relate to this film, you know, and I cherish those times because it was just you being young and, you know, you had your whole life ahead of you. So you just didn't think much of like, you know, but these kids did. They were thinking forward. They were like, this is our last, is probably our last chance. Had I been that kind of kid, like I would cherish the moments even more so at the time, you know? And I think in retrospect, I think this is something that like we could all learn. And I think it's why it's a good film to show to kids. Cause it's like, you never know when things will end for, you know, we'll never see. Cause I do have a best friend. Like I say best friend as in like, he was a kid that I called my best friend. I met him in kindergarten. His name was Matthew. And like, we were like inseparable for like a good 2 years. We would hang out all the time. We'd go to each other's houses and we just hit it off like instantly in kindergarten. And like, we were friends till like until like, I think the second or third grade. And then he moved away. I didn't even know he was going to move away, you know? And it was one of those things where like, and I only saw him one time after, like his mom brought them over to like visit with my mom. And then unfortunately his mom passed away shortly after. And so we never actually got to hang out again after that. And so, you know, it's one of those things, you got to cherish those times with people. You have to like cherish your friends, like your old friends, your new friends, the friends you currently have. It's like one of those things where hold them dear. Like that's why like my friendships are so important to me. Like I like will fight to the bitter end to like keep like people in my lives just because like they mean a lot to me. And like I may not see them. Like I like recently a friend of mine, Susan, she like said some really nice things to me, like, and I haven't seen her in a long time, you know, like I haven't seen her in years, at least 20. And but I still consider like her one of my like really good friends. Like we spent so much time hanging out together, and I miss like our times hanging out. Like she used to live in LA off of Melrose. And that's when like my formidable days of like going to LA and hanging out there and checking out stuff and going to shows. But it was just such a like, I have such fond memories of that. And I didn't know if like I'd ever see her again. And like, you know, we're still friends on like social media and we chat from time to time, but like, that's something I cherish. And I think that's what this movie is all about. Just cherishing your friendships, hold them, you know, close and hold them important.
Definitely. I think that's well said. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry. Social
I cherish
media.
no one, by the way. I'm just kidding.
Lie. You said you love us on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
What? I didn't. That was not me. That was a ghost.
Liar.
No,
Because I love you.
Yeah. No, you guys are awesome.
But yeah,
this is fun.
My social media, Daily Dares, on all the social media, Letterboxd, Instagram, all that.
Thank you. And let's go to you, Arnold. Arnold, tell us, where can people find you?
Oh, so they can find me on all socials at Arnie Kalego. My final thoughts and the scores. So last night I ended up watching it last night. After dinner, oh gosh, I had a thick beef soup that was very healthy. You know, the start of the year it had lima beans and black eyed peas and malunggay. What's that you say? Oh, it's probably one of the most nutritious foods on earth.
I didn't ask.
I didn't ask either.
No. I heard the people.
Oh,
laugh.
yeah.
Oh, the audience,
People,
huh?
Arnold, he's on another plane. Let's just say that.
Audience, have you tried Malungai? Let us know.
Let us know in the comments. Never seen
AKA
podcast.
moringa. That's what the white people call it. So, anyways, I had that with delicious fried chicken, and it was a pretty good heavy meal, and I did not get sleepy at all when
Good.
watching the movie. We watched it immediately after, and so the Z rating is 0 Z's. Good
Nice.
start. Then for the movie for nostalgia, I give it a 4 star, but overall I'd say 3.5. I give it 3.5. Is that what you gave it to, Alex? 3.5. Did you copy me? Oh, yeah.
I went before you. How can I copy you?
No, because I wrote it down. I'll
Oh
show
yeah,
you later.
yeah. It's because I go to your house all the time, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you had that room.
I've never been to your house.
That's because it's Carla's. Like you said, you know that my room is the kitchen.
Yep.
That's where I'd be
sleep
cooking
in the
up.
kitchen.
I'd be cooking up stuff, you know.
Go on.
I really love the movie. Just it brought me back that gave me that whole adventure vibe, and just it brought me back to like really why I love the movie, but actually understood the story and got the whole story this time, not just like get fixated on one little aspect and just think that's cool and go and try to dress up like that, like Data. But I stayed and watched the whole movie and got the whole story. Shout out to the Fratelli brother who played Cypher in The Matrix. You know, it's funny, he always
Joe
that's right.
Yeah, Joe Pantoliano.
Cypher, dude. Hell, I forget.
Pantoliano.
Yeah,
Joe Pantoliano.
he didn't have hair in that movie. That's why.
Yeah, he's been bald his whole life.
Yeah, damn.
And
I don't wear a
Fratelli
hairpiece.
oh yeah, he sets the fire by shooting at the ground. He's all spilling the gasoline or so-called gasoline all over the ground and his shoes at the beginning. And the brother, the other Fratelli brother, man, what a voice!
What a voice!
What a voice!
He sure could have.
Did it turn you on, Arnold?
No, I wasn't thinking that. Now you made me lose that train of thought.
Exactly.
I just wanted to give his flowers for what a great voice that he had, and because I sometimes also sing like that as well. But yeah, just overall, good movie, classic movie, and I really hope that they turn that into an amusement park, or at least like a ride in a amusement park.
And God forbid they remake it. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
They didn't even make the part 2. Remember, they were supposed to make a part 2. They never did it.
Were they?
Yeah.
Too late for that
Yeah,
now.
they were supposed to. Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Although maybe they should, because most of the kid cast is still alive, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all alive.
Yeah, most
Bring
of
it
them.
back.
I think all of them, except Mama Fratelli.
Yeah.
Somebody's making noise, and I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure, but you can find me Arnie Collego on all socials.
All right.
All right.
You should have just gone like this, Arnold.
Thanks for that, Arnold. Appreciate it. West Side. Donnie, where can people find you, and what is your rating for this movie?
Mainly on Instagram _ Donnie Appleseed. My score. What is it out of? How many stars again? Possibly?
5.
Is it
5. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's up to you. We just do 5. But yeah.
It's all
I give it a
arbitrary
solid
anyway.
4 then. I give it a solid 4, a
Nice.
0 Z rating, as Arnold was saying. I could watch this movie. I will watch this movie again now that I pulled it back out. Now that I realized it was in my collection this whole time. But I love the I loved it. If, I mean, like Arnold was saying, for different reasons, right? When I watched this as a kid, it was very appealing to me, and I think they did a good job catching. It was made for a certain audience. It was made for kids, but this not a lot of movies can, I guess, capture it correctly, right? Like they had cussing, they had like inappropriate jokes, and it's stuff that
A
kids
lot
that
of
age would
death.
actually,
True.
yeah,
Like they had a
this
guy
is
with a
things that
bullet
kids
hole in
that
his
age
head.
actually like go through. Like I think a lot of it's censored when movies are made for kids, but this is true to the sense of humor that kids that age would have, and I appreciated that. But yeah, I enjoyed it as an
Real.
adult as well. Still found it very interesting, and again, I was captivated by it. I wasn't sleepy at all or anything like that. So yeah, I love the movie. I would definitely recommend it for those who haven't watched it.
Nice, nice. Thank you for that, Donnie. All right. Justin, final
Hey.
thoughts, social medias,
Um,
rating.
yeah, you can find me on. Well, just go to my Instagram, Shibs the Zombie, SHIBBS the Zombie.
And you're on Twitch
You can
too.
kind of. I'm on Twitch. I stream a game every now and again. Not as much as I used to, but I'm starting to get back into it. Um, but like, I just want to say, as far as like a final thought goes, so at the end of the movie, when they're like, "Oh, we got the jewels, the doubloons, or whatever," they still had that much left. Well, the morning or that day was like the cutoff day. That was the day that, oh yeah, you're all are getting evicted. Get the fuck out. So like, how much time do you think it would take for them to? Well, they have the jewels now. They have to go find somebody to verify that the jewels are real. Then they have to find somebody that's gonna buy the jewels off of them. I don't know. It seems a little far fetched that that pocket of jewels was going to save that entire town of Astoria that was getting bulldozed over into, what was it? What were they doing with
They're
it? They were
gonna
going
build a
to do
A
country
golf
club.
course or
Golf
like a
country
course.
golf
club.
course, country club. Yeah. So I don't know if that would have any of that would have cut it, but hey, you know what? I respect their hopes in that whole thing. Um, uh, I'm going to give this movie a solid 4 out of 5. One of my favorite classic adventure movies that pretty much anybody can watch. I mean, although aside from like the hardcore violence, like you mentioned, the guy being shot in the head, the guy in the freezer, the skeletons, and all that good stuff. Uh, I think it's a really good movie, especially if you're trying to graduate your little watchers, your children out there. It's a good movie to graduate into like the PG-13 side of things. I think it's one of those movies
Good
that
point.
has
Yeah.
like has a nice little spectacle going on. It allows you to like pay attention, and you can kind of digest all the information happening really easily with their visuals and everything. And they have like some really cool, relatable characters. It's relatively diverse, I would say, and I think the movie, even for as old as it is still just as relevant and just as impactful as the day that it came out, in my opinion. So, um, the set design is amazing. There's honestly, as far as set design for movies go, I think this one takes a pretty huge portion of cake because they're not. You can tell that they're very detailed and they are not cheap or easily built. Like though they're, even though you can tell that most of it was filmed in the studio, it's just so extravagant, such a spectacle, that. When they were I don't know if this was mentioned in the earlier, but um when they were first going into seeing like the big main boat area, all the kids were hidden away from like even looking at it. So it was like they're when they were getting the reaction of seeing that boat for the first time, that was a genuine real reaction. All they were told was just like, you're going to see this and you're going to act surprised. And they went in and they saw this fucking huge handmade boat.
I heard they had to reshoot that a couple times because the kids were like cussing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like too much, a little too
I'm
much.
like, oh shit, that's dope.
Oh
as
shit,
fuck.
that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Imagine being one of the kids that are acting on there. Like how much fun it was to be on that set.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
I couldn't imagine being a kid and being on a set like that. I'd be like trying to fuck around with everything.
Yeah, seriously.
I was curious because I don't remember when it came out, like in '85. Obviously, it was only 4. But I was looking to see if it was like number 1 in box offices when it did come out, and it was actually number 2 to Rambo: First Blood Part 2. So it's kinda crazy. It came out like a week apart from each other. Yeah,
Whoa.
Rambo like made the opening weekend was 20.2 million versus Goonies was what was it? I think it was 9 million. 9 million.
Dang,
Yeah.
Goonies almost beat
That's
Rambone.
crazy.
Jeez.
I guess.
I mean, Rambo killed it.
Literally. I guess
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
about mental illness definitely trump
the
over
underlying
friendship.
theme.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know
What's
that about
your-
Rambone.
Interesting.
What's
Or it's
your
like
rating,
PTSD.
Justin? Did you give us your rating?
Oh yeah, I said it was a 4. It was a 4 out of 5.
Oh, sorry.
4 out of
Sorry,
5.
sorry.
Solid. Yeah. But that's it. That's my opinion, man.
Awesome. Well,
And last but not least, Adrian.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
I give this
what would you give this?
I give I give this a 3.5. Like Alex, a strong 3.5. Why am I doing the
Or
Bill
like me.
Clinton thing? I tell you today. Strong 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I think it's a good fun movie. I want to rewatch it. At 1.0 speed because I was trying to rush.
I was gonna say at normal speed.
At normal speed. And I want to rewatch it with my kid because I feel like he would like it. It's
Get him started early.
yeah,
Because
it's,
Mikey at 1 speed spoke really fast and with the lisp and kind of like he's just going off. I can only imagine at 1.5.
yeah, it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. I might have to actually watch it at 1.5 with my kid because Gen Alpha, right? They're used to everything being so fast, right? So,
How old is your son?
He's 7. So, but he's that generation of kids that doesn't remember a time before the internet, iPads, touchscreens.
Yeah.
College.
He doesn't
implants.
remember a Land Before Time.
Exactly. I should have him watch that movie. Actually,
Yeah,
that movie
I had
also
my son
fucked me
watch
up
that.
as a
He liked
kid.
Make him
that one
depressed.
and
like
American
every-
Tail.
There was so much death in
American
kids
Tail.
movies back then, bro.
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
going on back
There
then?
are no cats in America.
Um,
There are no.
What's the
All dogs
director's
go to
name?
heaven.
John, like something Bluth.
Chris Donner.
Don Bluth. Don Bluth film.
Yeah,
So,
dude, he made some of the best.
yeah.
Wait, not Richard Donner. Who's Don Bluth?
Don
The-
Bluth, who did the
sorry.
animated movies. Yeah.
Oh,
Was it like what it was just mentioned? All dogs go to heaven.
was that
An,
guy?
An American Tail.
Yeah. An
American
American Tale. Yeah.
Yeah. So much stuff.
Sorry, tangent.
Which that was a
Sorry.
Steven Spielberg movie,
No, it's okay.
movie too. So
It's okay.
anyway,
We'll put this podcast on 1.5.
you know what? I'm just gonna say this. That'll be. I feel like all those movies, even though they were animated, they are all relatively coming out during the same time frame, and they are all. And this is how I always viewed it because these were on my playlists all the time. Like when I was at my grandma's house, she had all those movies, and for me, all of those movies, including the Goonies, are all for me synonymous in some shape or form. Because whether it's like directed by Steven Spielberg or produced or whatever the case is, I feel like all the movies are kind of just a part of this common movie repertoire we all had at one point in time.
We all just
You know what's funny?
fit,
Arnold brought up the idea of like making a Goonies theme park type of deal. Imagine how depressing a Don Bluth like theme park. All dogs go to heaven. American Tail. It's just a bunch of sad rides.
Oh my!
Everybody's just
Like
getting off the
Arnold.
rides, just crying.
Like Arnold,
That'll
we
be-
all prefer to go to Goontown. Right, right.
Goonies Town, you mean, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Goontown.
Oh,
Go down.
Adrian. And I forgot. Where can we find you, Adrian?
Well, thanks for asking, Arnold.
'Cause I want to know.
I will tell you right now, I am on all social medias. I exclusively run this podcast TikTok page, which is at Never Seen It Podcast. The Never Seen It Podcast on TikTok. And we are also on Instagram at the Never Seen It Podcast. Or actually, no, Instagram's, I don't know why is the Instagram different, by the way. It's just Never Seen It Podcast. Drop the. Let's clean it that way, right?
The
Yeah, so but my personal account is Boots Too Big on Instagram as well, and I'm also on. I started a new TikTok as well. Books Too Big. See what I did there? So follow me on there for all your book reviews and a plug for a new podcast I started called the Book Brothers Podcast. So where I talk about books. So that's where you can find
Really big books, like
books of all
Bible?
sizes. You know, books of all sizes. Arnold.
oh, about
Yeah.
How about your OF? You want to show your OF?
That's it. That's for exclusively to our Patreon.
Can I mention
Right.
something? I forgot to mention that. Did you go check out my the Ghost channel?
Oh yeah.
YouTube. I've been posting like old videos of concerts, and I'm trying to get out to more. I'm gonna go see Yola Tango in May. That should be a really good show. And so I'm
I
gonna
don't
try
know
to
who
post
that
some
is.
videos for 90s alt rock, indie rock.
Nice.
Where's that going to be?
Yeah.
You'll let me go.
It's Solana Beach at Belly Up Tavern. Tickets still available. If you guys want to join me, I'll be there. Come hang out with me. Say hi. Would love to meet you guys. But yeah, I'm posting videos of concerts and stuff like that. Or not full concerts, but like songs that I like.
Nice. Yeah, we all have extracurriculars. I do books, you do music, and Arnold does food, Justin does video games. Donnie, what's your side thing? You mentioned cars earlier. Is there like a cars thing?
Oh
here?
yeah, it's for hatchback and station wagon aficionados, I guess.
Nice.
But it's called what is it called? Hatch and Wagon Alliance. Just
Hawa.
no spaces. It's on its
Hawa? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Hawa.
And it's also on TikTok. I follow that.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get more active on that.
Daddy Trump might not. He might save TikTok. He might not. So let's pending on that.
yeah.
Did you say
well,
Dick Talk?
TikTok. Yeah, that'll be TikTok's replacement. Surprisingly, it's already there, actually. So
It is? I mean, not.
The adults only.
I wasn't going
The
to look it up.
adults only TikTok. Dick Talk.
that's also for our Patreon, exclusive to our
Yeah.
Patreon. All right, guys. Well, I think we did it. I think that's it, right? I don't know if there's anything else. Any other final thoughts? But I think we're good now with that. So let's do the end of the show here, right? The most important part of the Never Seen It podcast is always the end of the show. Some people are probably saying that's probably the best time when it ends. No, I'm just kidding. No one says that. No one says that. But no, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, follow the Never Seen It podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're on everything. Check out our website. Please check out our website. I started a blog section, by the way. It took me 30 minutes to figure it out, so please follow us on our website. neverseenitpodcast.com/blog, of course. If you're so inclined, send us an email, podcast.neverseenit@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from people who have also never seen the Goonies. Drop us a comment on our socials. As I said earlier, that would be great. And of course, you can subscribe to our show on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Leave us a review on there and a rating as well, because that helps us out. So we would appreciate that. And thanks to Mr. Kyle Mapson, of course, of Burn Cycle for the intro music. Follow Kyle on Instagram at selfies_food_and_pets. Of course, thanks to everyone for listening to our show. Does anybody have any final words from the gentleman?
No final words, but a final move.
Let's see.
Oh no! There he goes.
There you go.
Damn!
That Seawalk influence right there.
Oh my god, that's actually really good. Crack kills though, Arnold, just so you know.
Now
No, I'm
that,
kidding.
my friends,
Good shit.
is the shovel.
Now have Carla to help you with the roller coaster.
Yeah. All right, guys.